What if I told you that even the most loyal, committed woman can still be tempted, not by accident, but by something deeply rooted in human nature? Most men think that marriage is a shield, a guarantee of loyalty. But in reality, emotions, desires, and instincts don't vanish with a wedding ring. They remain, often hidden, waiting for the right trigger. The painful truth is, many young men unknowingly step into this hidden battlefield, either becoming the temptation themselves or falling victim to it. But if you see this not as chaos, but as a lesson, then you'll understand that every temptation hides a deeper truth about desire, identity, and power. Desire is not weakness, it's the mirror reflecting what we have yet to master. At this very moment you have two paths. You can judge, complain, and stay blind to how attraction really works, or you can open your eyes and begin to understand the forces shaping relationships around you. If you're ready to face the uncomfortable truths and master yourself, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I master my desires, not the world." Let's dive in. Number 1. The mirror's shadow. Why older women fall for younger men. A silent but powerful shift happens to many women as they age. They begin to feel invisible. What once was effortless attention from men, admiration from strangers, and constant validation slowly fades as time imprints itself upon them. It's not just about wrinkles or grey hair. It's about a quiet realization that the world, especially the male gaze, no longer looks at them the same way. And then, unexpectedly, a younger man comes along, full of admiration, energy, and curiosity. To her, this man is not just youthful. He is a mirror reflecting the woman she used to be. The attention he gives is intoxicating, not because it is simply flattering, but because it resurrects feelings she thought she had lost forever. His compliments don't just boost her ego, they revive her sense of being seen, being alive, and being wanted. Even if this connection is temporary, it feels like water to someone wandering through a desert of routine and neglect. However, from the lens of Stoicism, this dynamic reveals a deeper issue. The woman is no longer pursuing love, but validation. She is chasing the image of youth, not its reality. Instead of looking inward for worth and dignity, she grasps for it externally, hoping this younger man will give back what time has naturally taken. But time, like all things, is indifferent. No amount of compliments or stolen glances can restore what has passed. The tragic irony is that many women believe this attention will heal them. Yet often it leads to internal conflict. The thrill is brief, but the consequences, guilt, fear, and emotional chaos, linger. The Stoic man understands that what she seeks is not truly him, but what he symbolizes: youth, freedom, and the sensation of still mattering. She is not connecting with the man, but with a phantom version of herself. Most men fall into this without realizing it. They confuse her intensity with genuine affection, when it may be a desperate attempt to outrun the reality of aging. The Stoic, however, does not react emotionally. He sees clearly. He does not judge her for seeking what everyone fears, the loss of youth. But neither does he participate blindly. He understands that freedom and value are internal, not granted by external admiration. Comment below, true value comes from within. The man who understands this dynamic does not mock it, nor does he get swept away by it. He stands still, calm and unshaken, knowing that the only approval that truly matters is the one we give ourselves. Number 2, the trap of monotony, when boredom opens the door to temptation. Every long relationship eventually encounters the slow and creeping danger of monotony. What once was passion, surprise, and excitement often gives way to routine, responsibility, and predictability. For many women, this shift is subtle but devastating. They may not even notice it at first, but the spark dims slowly. Schedules, chores, and repetitive conversations replace the shared laughter, spontaneous moments, and playful energy. Without realizing it, the woman finds herself longing, not necessarily for a new man, but for the feeling of aliveness she once had. Then, often out of nowhere, the younger man enters, full of energy, spontaneity, and curiosity. His presence alone disrupts the dull rhythm of her current life. He brings novelty where there is habit, adventure where there is routine, even small gestures, a playful tease, an unexpected compliment, or simply showing genuine interest can feel revolutionary to a woman starved of emotional stimulation. It's not always about physical attraction. Many times, it's the psychological thrill of feeling unpredictable again. However, this is where the danger lies. The woman, overwhelmed by the contrast between her relationship's stale familiarity and this younger man's fresh energy, may start justifying small steps. It begins with innocent texting, playful flirting, or emotional sharing, yet these small acts often escalate. What she seeks is not only excitement, it's an escape from boredom, responsibility, and the version of herself she has settled into. The Stoic perspective recognizes this for what it is, a distraction, not a solution. True peace and vitality do not come from chasing temporary excitement, but from learning to find meaning within stillness and repetition. Excitement is external and fleeting, meaning is internal and lasting. The woman looking outside for freedom will always remain a prisoner of her restlessness. Most men sadly notice this shift too late. They sense that she is pulling away, but they respond by trying to fix it externally. More dates, more gifts, more attention, when the problem is not about quantity, but about depth. The Stoic man understands that relationships need novelty, but not from strangers. It must be cultivated within, by both partners rediscovering themselves, breaking their patterns, and breathing life into the familiar. Comment below. True freedom is internal. The woman who learns this avoids the path of betrayal. The man who understands this avoids the trap of blame. Together they realize that boredom is not the enemy, stagnation is. And overcoming it does not require someone new, but something deeper. Number 3. The relentless clock, when time becomes her silent rival. In a world obsessed with youth and appearance, many women quietly battle against a ticking clock that no one else seems to hear. They are showered with attention, compliments, and validation from a young age. Doors open easily, admiration is abundant, and the world seems to celebrate them just for being. But as time progresses, that attention begins to fade, slowly at first, then noticeably. The glances become shorter, the compliments less frequent, and the sense of being desired disappears. For many women, this feels like a silent but painful loss. Then suddenly there appears a younger man, a symbol not just of youth but of reminder. His attention is not just flattering, it feels like a second chance, to be noticed again, admired again, to feel like time has been reversed, even just for a moment. His presence offers her what society is slowly withdrawing, the feeling of being seen, admired, and valued as a woman, not just as a mother, wife, or someone aging gracefully. But behind the thrill lies the shadow. From a Stoic perspective, she truly craves not the younger man himself, but the feeling he gives, the illusion of still holding what is naturally fading. She is not simply attracted to him, she is resisting reality. She is resisting the truth that youth, like everything in life, is transient. By chasing his attention, she is not regaining youth, she is merely delaying acceptance. This is the tragedy for many women. They believe they can reclaim it internally by connecting with youth externally, yet it is never permanent. The younger man may admire her for a season, but he cannot stop the seasons from changing. Sooner or later, the clock reminds her again. Time is indifferent, unstoppable, and utterly beyond control. For the Stoic man, recognizing this dynamic allows him to detach emotionally. He understands that the interaction is rarely about him, but about what he represents. He does not feed the illusion or judge her for feeling it, he simply sees it for what it is, a natural human struggle against impermanence. Instead of clinging, both men and women would better accept that all things fade, beauty, youth, attention, but dignity and peace can remain. True value is never about holding on to what is slipping away, but about standing tall as it passes. Comment below, I accept what I cannot control. The Stoic path reminds both men and women that resisting time only leads to suffering. Peace comes not from chasing youth, but from accepting reality with grace and strength. Number 4. The invisible chains. Why many women seek freedom but find chaos. For many women, marriage can slowly transform into an invisible cage. It may not be an unhappy marriage, nor an abusive one, but rather one suffocated by predictability and duty. Although honorable, the role of a wife, a mother, or a homemaker can sometimes overshadow her individuality. As the years pass, she looks in the mirror and wonders, where did the woman I used to be go? She no longer feels wild, spontaneous, or adventurous, only responsible. And responsibility, if left unchecked, easily feels like imprisonment. Enter the younger man, vibrant, carefree, and unburdened by the weight of responsibility. He becomes more than just a person, he becomes a symbol. To her he represents what she has secretly craved: freedom, rebellion, and the chance to be desired, not just needed. His attention awakens the dormant parts of her identity, the playful girl, the risk-taker, the woman who once believed life was full of surprises. Yet what seems like an escape is often just another form of imprisonment, dressed as liberty. From the perspective of Stoicism, this is not true freedom. True freedom is not breaking rules or fleeing responsibility. True freedom is internal. It is the ability to face life's limitations without letting them dominate your soul. Many women who fall into this trap realize too late that the younger man is not a savior. He cannot erase years of compromise, monotony, or emotional neglect. He can only provide temporary relief, a thrilling but brief vacation from reality. When the excitement fades, she often returns to find that nothing outside her has changed. Worse, she now carries the burden of guilt, secrecy, and sometimes irreversible damage. If involved in such a situation, the Stoic man does not get lost in the fantasy either. He understands that she is not merely attracted to him, but to what he symbolizes, a ticket out of the cage she feels trapped in. But he also knows that no external person can give her the freedom she seeks. That freedom must be reclaimed within herself. Through acceptance, self-selection, and the courage to live authentically within reality, not apart from it. The ultimate insight is this: true liberation is not found in breaking the chains of responsibility, but in changing how you carry them. A woman who learns to find playfulness within the structure of life will not need to escape it. And a man who lives by this principle will not be used as a tool for someone else's unfinished journey. Comment below. Freedom is an inner choice. The Stoic understands that the real prison is not marriage, duty, or time. It is the refusal to accept life as it is, and the false hope that running away will make it different. Number 5. The price of playing with fire, the hidden cost of escaping through infidelity. At first, the thrill feels intoxicating. The secret meetings, the playful text messages, the stolen moments combine to awaken emotions that may have been dormant for years. This younger man seems like the perfect remedy for a woman who feels stuck in monotony, neglected in her marriage, or suffocated by roles she no longer recognizes. He provides excitement, mystery, and a feeling of being alive again. Yet, Behind this seductive facade lies an inevitable truth: every game with fire eventually burns. From the outside, many see infidelity as a question of morality, but for the Stoic, it is a question of cause and effect. Every action, especially one driven by impulse and avoidance, carries a price. At first, the woman may feel she has found freedom. She smiles again, flirts again, and feels young again, but soon cracks appear. The guilt sets in. The constant fear of discovery lingers. The effort to balance two worlds, one built on routine and duty, the other on adrenaline and secrecy, becomes exhausting. The younger man also plays a role without understanding it fully. He believes he is chosen for himself, but often he is simply a vessel for escapism. He represents an alternative life, a fantasy where youth, excitement and freedom can be relived. But he is not immune to the consequences. Many such men find themselves caught between shallow flattery and deep emotional turmoil, realizing they were never truly desired, only the idea of them was. The Stoic man sees clearly through this. He understands that what looks like passion is often desperation. He recognizes that the woman is not running toward him, she is running away from herself, her life and her choices. But escape is never free. The husband may lose trust, the family may fracture, the younger man may be discarded once the thrill wears off, and the woman herself is left facing the reality she tried to avoid, only now with shame and regret added to the weight. Stoicism teaches that every action must be measured by its long-term consequence, not its temporary comfort. The momentary excitement of forbidden love will never outweigh the enduring pain it often brings. The peace she was seeking from boredom, feeling invisible, or unmet desires cannot be found by escaping. It can only be found by confronting. Comment below: short-term thrill, long-term cost. The lesson is simple for both men and women. Excitement bought at the expense of integrity always comes with a bill, and the longer you delay paying it, the heavier it becomes. Number 6. The allure of rebellion. Why breaking the rules feels addictive but empties the soul. After years of playing by the rules, being the loyal wife, responsible mother and stable partner, many women yearn for the forbidden. It is not uncommon. The longing isn't always about another man, but about what that man represents: rebellion, freedom, and the chance to feel untamed again. With his carefree energy and disregard for social expectations, the younger man becomes the perfect symbol of this escape. He is less about romance and more about the fantasy of breaking free, if only for a moment. The allure of rebellion is not to be underestimated. After all, nothing tastes sweeter than something labeled off-limits. The forbidden has always carried an intoxicating power, and for a woman who feels she has been living within walls, even invisible ones, the temptation can be overwhelming. The younger man is not bound by her routines. He doesn't care about her image as a responsible wife or mother. He sees her, or at least appears to, as a woman first. This feels electrifying, like rediscovering a part of herself she had long buried. But here is the painful truth from a Stoic perspective. Rebellion without purpose is hollow. What feels like freedom is often just chaos disguised as excitement. Yes, she may feel alive temporarily, laughing in dimly lit restaurants, exchanging secret texts, or sneaking away for stolen hours, but underneath that high, there is always a growing anxiety. The burden of secrecy, the fear of being discovered, the inner conflict between who she is and who she pretends to be, quietly corrode the freedom she sought. The Stoic man recognizes this pattern. He understands that what she seeks is not him, but the feeling of liberation. Yet, rebellion rooted in escapism always collapses under its own weight. The thrill fades, the guilt intensifies, and the chaos left behind often hurts everyone involved, including herself. Most tragic, what she sought through breaking the rules was never truly out of reach. The aliveness, the passion, the unpredictability, These could have been rekindled within her own life and marriage if only she had looked inward rather than outward. The rebellion was never necessary. Only self-sourceness was missing. Comment below. True freedom doesn't need rebellion. The Stoic truth is simple. Rules are not cages unless you make them so. Freedom is not in escaping responsibility but learning to live freely within it. Otherwise, rebellion becomes just another trap, one with a heavier price. Number 7. The fear of time, when youth becomes the unattainable prize. Time is the most relentless force in life. For many women, it is also the most feared, not because of vanity alone, but because of what youth represents: beauty, energy, spontaneity, and possibility. The world reminds her that these things are fading as the years pass. Society, media, and casual remarks reinforce the message. Youth is where your value lies. And so when a younger man shows up, full of life and admiration, he becomes more than just a person, a symbol of a war she cannot win. The younger man is in many ways a walking embodiment of everything she feels slipping away. His admiration feels like a validation, not just of her as a woman, but of her ability to still matter and captivate. It's not always about physical attraction. Often it's about what he makes her feel, like she's paused the clock, if only briefly. She is not just older, tired, or responsible in his presence. She is mysterious, desirable, and vibrant again. But from the lens of Stoicism, this longing is based on an illusion. Time, like all forces of nature, cannot be bargained with. No flirtation, no affair, no external validation can turn back the clock. At best it can distract from its ticking but cannot silence it. And worse, when the distraction fades, as all distractions do, the woman is left not only with the same reality but often with guilt, confusion, and sometimes irreversible consequences. The tragedy is not that she desires youth. She has been conditioned to believe that only youth holds value. She is not rebelling against her husband, her life, or even the younger man. She is fighting against nature. And that is a battle no one has ever won. The Stoic man sees this dynamic without judgment. He understands that her attention is not truly about him, but about what he represents. He does not resent it, but he also does not chase it. He remains grounded, knowing that clinging to youth, for men or women, is like grasping at mist. It slips through your fingers, leaving you emptier than before. Comment below. I accept time. I don't fight it. The ultimate Stoic insight is that peace is not found in resisting change, but in accepting it. Youth fades, beauty transforms, but dignity, strength, and wisdom remain if you allow them. You came into this video perhaps angry, confused, or even hurt, thinking that loyalty should be absolute, but now you realize attraction, temptation, and desire are forces of nature. What you control is not them, but yourself. She never stole your power. She only reminded you where you forgot to claim it. If you're ready to keep growing beyond illusions and reclaiming your strength, like this video, subscribe and comment below. I am unshakable. Stay sharp, stay steady. The one who masters himself is never shaken by the storms of others.